Hello, welcome again. I'd like to introduce to you Leo Kish and Josh Robinson from Cortex. Come on up, give them a hand. Give them a big ETH Barcelona welcome.
Josh will be up in a second. I'm going to go for the second part. Hey, thanks everybody. I know it's Friday afternoon. It's awesome to see a room pretty well full on this late day. Looking forward to wrapping this up. Today we're going to talk a little bit about when Web3. I think a lot of us have been waiting for a while to really experience a true Web3 and a Web3 experience. So let's start with a little audience participation. What is missing today from Web3? Anybody?
Mass adoption, users.
Good answer. Yeah, in fact, yeah, let's, so why would you say that the users are missing? Friction. We have very high expectations for what users are expected to do in Web3 today. First, I think everybody's been through this with their friends and family at some point, right? They have to figure out what a wallet is, figure out why they need to use it, what keys are, how to manage those keys, why they need separate keys, why they might need separate wallets. You need to put coins in it, different kinds of tokens. You got to figure out how much for each transaction. You need to learn which chain, and is the wallet on the right chain at the right time, how to change networks. And of course, you get to pay for everything you do. It sounds awesome. And meanwhile, don't get scammed, and whatever you do, don't make a mistake, because it's all immutable and irreversible. So, summary of UX today is that it's high cost, very high confusion rate. People just don't understand it. But people really don't need to understand cryptography. Everybody, lots of people use Signal, Telegram. Cryptography is used in a lot of places. And of course, it's low trust. So bottom line is this is really a terrible recipe for mass adoption. So I think we need to lower our expectations a little bit. And a user-owned web doesn't mean that users have to know everything. We're used to abstraction of this complexity in a lot of different scenarios. Maybe we've been a little bit slower at it with crypto because there's so many moving pieces and so much risk. It's a high risk endeavor for everything you do. So how do we solve for UX? The cost, the complexity, the scalability, while maintaining all the benefits of user ownership. You can't really sell the benefits of user ownership without users being able to manage that ownership. So our solution, what we're going to talk about, and Josh is going to talk about a little bit, is how to create a scalable content network that really anybody can use. Won't have to pay fees for each transaction, a lot of benefits. I'm going to bring Josh up here to talk a little bit about how it works.
All right. Yeah, Leonard gave me lots of time there left, so I can dive in a little bit deeper. Yeah, I really like this one slide because it pretty much encapsulates like 5 years or so worth of work that we've been doing. But a lot of it comes down to things to add building blocks on some of the base pieces we already have. Like IPFS has been around for quite a while now. And blockchain, the Bitcoin paper was in 2009. And there's still a lot of challenges around not just using some of the stuff, but for everyday users, but also even for developers. IPFS, for example, is great, but even with some of the things it offers to have consistent, to be able to update content like IPNS, it's very difficult to use, and by default doesn't use human readable names. So some of the building blocks that we've been working on that solve for some of those problems and build on some of that existing technology is one that we call HD name, which is very similar to BIP32 wallets, if anyone's familiar with that, where you can derive different key pairs from a single seed. With regular BIP32, it uses a numbered path, and what we add on top of that, using some of the same types of systems, is a way to take a domain name using a lookup with butterfly protocol and turn that and apply that name hash from the domain and derive a key deterministically from that. So what that allows you to do is take, with butterfly protocol, you have domain names on a blockchain, it's cross-chain, and it's all uses NFTs for everything. So you can use a very simple standard lookup to see who owns a specific domain using that same name hashing algorithm. And once you get an owner, you can use HD name to find a specific key pair for that, starting that owner and that domain. And so it allows you to create a lot of different kind of boxes that you can put different data in, all named and all discoverable by using human readable names. And then we kind of build on that using HD data, which takes those key pairs and uses the public key as a lookup key, and then you're able to update that data using the corresponding private key that you can also derive using that same HD name system. And then on top of that, we've built HD index, which is a modified version of a sparse Merkle tree that allows you to very efficiently find those pieces of data and actually access it in order. It's a huge improvement over some of the existing systems because it actually lets you find things sequentially, so you can find the most recent update in a list. And then that all builds on top of IPFS, so it's a way to get to your actual content that you have stored. And me talking about this slide is a big part of what Leonard was saying before. All of this is very complex and doesn't help people out that much directly, right? These are all just building blocks. So there's a lot you have to do to make it actually a usable system for everyday people. So yeah, we spent years working on this, the underlying technology, but a lot of the work and user benefits come when we, from now on, building something that people can actually use and using those building blocks. And so at Cortex, we do a few things that that make it familiar to people, to what they already know, right? So just like you have in the traditional web, you have a domain name and your file structure and your protocol. You can use the same type of URL and standard in Cortex, but some of those things just translate a little bit differently. But the user doesn't have to know about that. So you might have the domain name being the NFT on Butterfly protocol, and then you can use that in combination with HDName to resolve and find that data on IPFS. But again, to user, those look very, very similar. Identical if it wasn't for the protocol piece. One other big thing that we're doing is making it cheap to free for people to acquire blockchain domains. So we have the .human HMN domain that anyone can claim for free. It runs on Polygon, so someone doesn't have, they have to have a wallet, but they don't have to have any crypto in it or have to know about what Polygon is versus Ethereum. You can claim it using Twitter, and it will give you your Twitter handle .hmn for free. And we have an interface where people can go and see that, the domains that they own in there. And for people who do know more about crypto, they can go ahead and pay the gas fee for a corresponding ENS name that they get automatically if they have the human name. So they can have like leo.hmn.eth that works in MetaMask and anywhere else that Etherscan, anywhere that the ENS names work. At the conference, we were just doing an initial alpha of a very simple interface for people to actually do some publishing that puts it up on IPFS and builds the site, and also creates some of the metadata for NFTs behind the scenes so that those domain NFTs can have updatable metadata, so you can change the picture and the title and everything. Yeah, the interface is, I've been told it's a little too easy or simple. Maybe not easy, simple at this point. But yeah, it will be expanding, and it's very medium-like right now, so you can do like a medium-type post and make a website very easily for, again, non-crypto people. And because of all the stuff we built on the back end already, most of the data is stored off-chain. And so when you go to publish your post, all you have to do in your wallet is sign that update to prove that you're wanting to make that. And you don't have to worry about having any tokens in your actual wallet. So from here, there's a lot of things that still we can do to improve Web3 to the point where people don't even need to know that it's Web3. And that's really what we need to do to get actual users on. We need to be able to offer them products and things that they need without them needing to know what it is. And that happens all the time now with browsers, with HTTPS. All the user knows is it's got a green lock on their browser. They don't need to know exactly how it's exchanging keys or anything about Diffie-Hellman or anything like that. And right now, everybody in crypto is used to having a wallet, but a lot of the things that we're doing, you don't, like as we said before, you don't need tokens in your wallet at all. All you need is the ability to sign things. So the extra interface of a wallet itself is kind of unnecessary. All you really need is the ability to present something to a user and have them sign an OK, saying that that's what they want to do. And one of the ways that we are handling the ability for people to not need tokens but still take advantage of some of the blockchain benefits is by setting up what we call publishers that handle kind of that complicated piece for users. So a regular user can send the commits and updates to a publisher, and the publisher can collect a lot of different posts and updates together into single releases and put using some of the building blocks we made, like HDindex, put a single hash on chain at set frequencies. And so anybody will be able to be a publisher, and they're not in control. The user still owns their data and can still control everything. But the user doesn't need to know that. You have, just like you have an Ethereum node, you have people who are handling that for the end users and making it simpler for them. And yeah, so our main goal is to make it so that Web3 is not just for crypto apes, but also for humans. So yeah, the QR code for humans there goes to the one you can claim with Twitter, but we're also launching a new top-level domain for .ape, where it's very limited to 250 initial users, and you're able to pick what name you want. And yeah, that's Cortex. If we want to do questions, we got 5 minutes, since I don't know if we're set up to do that. Any questions if there are? If we can?
What will be the cost of the link?
Right.
What would be the cost of .ape domains?
So the ape domains, you do get to pick it, what the domain is, and the cost is based on the number of characters. So it can range you do own, unlike ENS and a traditional legacy domain, you own it forever. So the initial ones, the lowest cost is $100-ish based on current Ethereum prices. And then, yeah, it can go up. But you can only get one, those first 250. If you go to that site, you can sign up for early access. But it's limited to those 250, and you burn an invitation. And then that creates 3 more invitations that you can send to other people to get it. So there are the next generation of them.
The legacy web part, but you'll have ape.cloud.
Yes, the website is ape.cloud, and those blockchain domains will allow you to post to that. So you'll be able to have an address on legacy, like legacy web, so people can put in like a leo.ape.cloud. And again, it will also work with ENS, so you can put that in MetaMask and everything, and work across everywhere.
What would you say is the biggest challenge you guys are facing right now?
Let's see, there's a lot of different challenges. A lot of the big challenges on the technical side we've worked out, which is we're in a really cool spot now because of that. It's been, like I said, several years that we've been working on the underlying technology. We did have to invent and create a lot of new things. And yeah, so our biggest challenge now is expanding the UI and building different use cases on top of that. And then, yeah, just like every project, getting adoption.
Yeah, and I think we've got some great early partners that will be releasing soon that I think are pretty very, very credible projects that we're going to be associated with. But we're always looking for more. And as Josh was saying, with this publishing network, I don't know if this is going twice. Give some feedback. With the publishing network, you'll also be able to build applications on that. So essentially, each publisher will have a feed, so you could build a next medium. So we're looking for builders to come and build new applications that will, can have a social component, but also have a publishing component. And there's endless use cases for that.
All right. I think that's close enough to 20 minutes. Thank you.